course, for you, Hamilton.
Can I speak to Jeff Story, please?
Yep, just one moment.
CHML News, good afternoon, it's Jeff.
Yeah, it's Robert Burgess calling.
Hey, Robert.
I called in last week when the chief was on, and the guy wouldn't put me on the air.
What day was that?
That was on the 26th.
Okay, so that would have been Friday.
Yeah. So why can't I get on the air?
Chief about this, Robert?
The chief won't return my emails.
Well, Chief told me in a hallway conversation off the air that he's already dealt with your situation.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got nothing new to add, so the chief's not going to take your calls live to air. He said it's already been dealt with.
No, this is a criminal complaint of obstruction of justice against the justice of the peace. They won't...
When did it occur, Robert?
1998.
Yeah, he told us it's already been dealt with. So
yeah, the appeal from the complaint against the cops already been dealt with. But the obstruction of justice...
Hey, Robert, you need to deal with the chief about this personal situation.
He won't respond to my email.
The airwaves on CHML are not for this issue. Maybe put it this way. We're in a difficult position. The chief's not going to deal with it live there on CHML, so you have to deal with it privately.
But he doesn't return my emails. He doesn't return my emails.
And why is that?
Because he's covering something up.
Issue?
No. I'm saying if I get on the air with CHML, he'll be embarrassed into doing the right thing, because lots of the public are listening in.
Yeah, but Robert, are we in the business of trying to embarrass people, whether or not it's the police chief,
you don't care about police corruption,
or the mayor of Hamilton, or anybody else?
You don't care about police corruption?
Of course we care about police corruption, but they claim that it's not corruption. I mean, he's not willing to deal with it on CHML. That's the point, Robert. You mean, I don't know how you think that we're going to force the police chief?
No, not force him to do something. Oh, no. The month before, you guys cut me off. The chief said...
Robert, he's not willing to deal with it.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You guys cut me off. You guys cut me off last month.
But, Robert, listen. If the chief is unwilling to talk to you about it live to air on CHML, what do you want CHML to do? The chief refuses to deal with you on the air about it.
Let me explain to the listeners my case and the evidence, and then the chief can explain why they're not doing anything about it. Because then people will see I really do have a case.
Robert, it's a 20-year-old case.
Yeah, but there's other cases. It doesn't matter. There's no limitation period on criminal charges in Canada.
Robert, when was the last time you had a private one-on-one conversation with the chief of police?
I've never had one.
Well, why not?
Because he doesn't return my phone calls or answer my emails.
Well, why don't you go down to Central Police Headquarters and ask for a face-to-face meeting?
He won't give me a face-to-face meeting. If he was going to do that, he'd answer my emails.
So when this occurred in 1998, you know that obviously Eric Gert was not the police chief, so now the chief is dealing with somebody else.
Yeah. But this is obstruction of justice, what the Justice of the Peace did. And what the Hamilton Police did is obstruction of justice. He can launch a criminal investigation into that now.
What are you hoping to get out of it, Robert, at the end of the day?
Them to launch a criminal investigation, and the guy who threatened me to be charged. Because the Justice of the Peace said I asked her, the guy said to me, if you go around telling people about my life, I'm going to beat the blank out of you. I asked the Justice of the Peace, what he said, threatening? She says, I can't say. How can she not say? She can't go look it up in the criminal code book. She's clearly obstructing justice. So I got the transcripts from the hearing with the Justice of the Peace, went to the Hamilton Police. The Hamilton Police said that's not threatening. I looked it up in the criminal code. The criminal code says threatening to beat threatening to cause bodily harm is threatening. Beating the blank out of somebody would cause bodily harm. So clearly that's threatening. Yet the Justice of the Peace wouldn't even look up. The Hamilton Police are lying to me when they say that's not threatening.
So what were you mean, you're obviously claiming, Robert, that you were a victim, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what were you a victim of?
Threatening.
Right, so somebody verbally threatened you.
Yes. They threatened to cause bodily harm.
Question for you. Just let me ask another question, Robert. So you claim that somebody verbally threatened you.
Yes.
Now, why did that individual do that?
I don't know.
So you didn't do anything. This person just came up to you and verbally assaulted or threatened you.
I used to rent a room from him, and he kept trying to raise the rent on me and stuff, so I moved out. And then
so he was a landlord.
He comes in
as a landlord.
Yeah, they both go to the same gym, the same martial arts club. He comes in the change room and says, "Hi, Bob." I just ignore him. He says, "You can't even say hi now." I said, "You're just a big liar." Then he gets up and says, "If you go around telling people I'm a liar, I'm going to beat the blank out of you." Well, he didn't say blank. He said beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, he used a bad word probably.
Yes. So that's threatening.
So were you going around behind his back telling people that he was a liar and defaming his credibility?
No.
Okay. Because if you did do that, that could also be seen as an offense, because you can't defame somebody like that.
If what you're saying is true, you can say it. I know about defamation.
Well, sure, but if he's a business owner, he could also...
No. He's just renting a room out of his house. It's not an apartment.
That's all it was?
Yeah, just renting a room out of his house.
So he wasn't even a landlord, really. He just rented a space in his house.
Yes.
So this goes back 20 years, and you're still trying to launch a complaint against the Hamilton Police Service?
No, I've filed complaints against Hamilton Police, and it gets covered up, and then they go to a higher level, go to the next officer up, and the chain of command. They cover it up, and then they cover it up. I went right to the deputy chief of police, and he covered it up too, and now the chief of police is covering it up.
Yeah, what do you hope to get at it, though, at the end of the day, Robert? Like, ask yourself that question, which
I want the guy charged. I want the guy charged. I want the justice of the peace charged with obstruction.
But what is that going to do for you? Like, what do you...
I'm a victim of a crime. I won't be a victim anymore.
Well, no, Robert, that's not true. I mean, if you're a victim of a crime, you're always going to be a victim. Just because somebody comes out and gets charged with something,
and I want
doesn't take your feelings away. Like, if your feelings were hurt and you felt threatened, even though that person is charged, it doesn't mean that you're still not a victim.
Yeah, but I want justice.
There's the better answer. I mean, that's what you're going after. You're going after justice.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, at the end of the day, I don't know what you want us to do about it, because if he isn't going to respond, if he's not going to respond on the air, Robert, put it this way. If the chief doesn't want to respond on CHML about this, how do you expect us to force the chief to do that?
No. I'm not expecting you guys to force the chief to do anything. Let me go on the air and explain to the listeners my evidence.
He's not going to take your phone call. So
No, but he doesn't.
You on the air.
He doesn't answer the phone.
He's not going to respond to you.
Then he can do that then. Then he can say, "I'm not going to respond to that." And the listeners can hear my evidence.
What good does that do for you, and what good does that do for my audience?
Then the listeners will know that he's covering it up, because they'll hear my evidence.
Yeah, but he says that he doesn't agree with you, Robert. He said he's not covering up anything, so...
Yeah, but I just explained to you who he is.
Robert, put it this way. I'm not going to use my airwaves, okay, for this purpose. I can guarantee you that. But what I can do is I can have another side conversation with the police chief off the air, okay? I'll commit to doing that, but I am not going to take my radio station and let you go on the air for 10 minutes to tell your story.
Not 10 minutes, won't take 10 minutes.
And then have the chief not even respond to it. It's a complete waste of airtime.
No, because the listeners know my evidence, and the chief says, "I'm not going to respond." They're going to start calling the Hamilton Police and say, "Why is the chief not responding? That guy's got enough evidence."
I honestly don't really know why you want to use CHML's airwaves.
Because I could embarrass him into doing the right thing.
I just don't understand what you get out of that, though. I mean, personally, I don't think that's a positive thing to do to anybody. Trying to embarrass somebody live on air.
Him ignoring my emails.
Involved in.
What else am I supposed to do?
Wasn't even involved in it.
Yeah, but the chief can order a criminal investigation now.
Sure. But what if he doesn't think there's evidence there?
Then he can explain that to the listeners, how he believes there's not enough evidence. I've asked him that. I've asked him, why are you not responding? Like, explain.
How many times you've been on CHML now, Robert, trying to tackle the same issue?
No, I haven't. It hasn't been the same complaint all along. Because last month I called in, but you guys cut me off before I got a word in edgewise.
Well, I wasn't here on Friday, to be honest.
No, the month before, September.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and check our logs.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing you of lying. I'm just going to have to go back and check the logs to see what
but the chief said it's been appealed. And then they cut me off. I couldn't say anything after that. I couldn't say, well, I need a criminal complaint. That's obstruction of justice. You can launch a criminal investigation. But they wouldn't let me say that because they cut me off.
Again, Robert, I'm not quite sure what you're hoping to get out of this. You mean if you want to embarrass the police chief. But if you want to embarrass the police chief live to air, I mean, I'm in the business of trying to create programming that is engaging and intelligent and stimulating to a large audience in Hamilton.
And police corruption is that.
The thousands of people that listen to this are going to believe that here's a 20-year-old complaint where somebody claims that another individual verbally abused them by saying that they're going to beat them up. I'm just not so sure that that's something that the audience, honestly, is really going to...
So you're telling me the audience is going to listen to police corruption? They're not interested in that.
Well, yeah, but your claim is that there's police corruption. The chief says there isn't, so...
Yeah, but what's his explanation then? What's his explanation?
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do, Robert? I don't have time for this today. I mean, I've already given you 10 minutes on the phone. Nothing's going to happen today because the police chief is not in our studios today. What I've committed to you is I'm going to call the police chief. I'll try to get a conversation with him. I'll try to get some more background on this, but today we're not going to find a resolution.
Hey, I'll email you.
I know what your concern is. Hey, Robert, I know what your concern is, okay?
Yeah.
I know what your concern is. All I'm saying is I'm a busy guy. I got a million things to do, okay?
I'll email you a copy of the complaint so you can see it in writing. I'll email you a copy of the complaint so you can see it in writing.
Fine.
And then ask the chief to explain.
That's fine.
To explain to him.
Robert, go ahead.
Okay. And then you'll ask the chief to explain to you how that's not threatening, or why there's no criminal investigation going on. Okay, that sounds good.
Not a problem. You do that. You can send that stuff to me, Robert. But trust me. I'm a busy guy with a million things on my plate, okay? I'm not going to have a resolution to this thing tomorrow or the next day. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to inundate me on the phone or on my email with 1,000 different things. What I've committed to you today is I took your call. I've heard your story. I told you already that I'm going to call the police chief later this week, and if I can get the chief on the phone, which is not ever a guarantee, he's a busy guy too, then I will ask him these questions point blank, okay? If I feel that there's something there, then we can do this on the air. If I don't feel there is something here, then I'm not going to spend airtime doing this.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
All right, Robert. Well, you can send me that stuff.
Yeah.
I've got your phone call here. I see you've sent me an email here too, actually.
Yeah, with a recording of the phone call from Friday.
Okay. Where's that from?
I record my phone calls from calling into the Bill Kelly show.
Oh, you record them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to click on this right now. Hang on a second.
It's just the guy saying he's been told not to put me on the air. The guy who answers the phone.
I'm just listening to it. Now, did you tell the producer that you recorded that conversation?
No, I wasn't on the air.
You know, without consent, Robert, you're not allowed to record people's phone messages like that.
That's not true. It's one-party consent in Canada. I recorded phone calls with the police and sent them in, sent copies in to the police.
Okay. Well, put it this way: we would never do that. Who was it that you were talking to, by the way? Who was the producer? Did he give you his name?
No, it wasn't the producer. It was the guy who answers the phone when you call in to be on the air.
Okay, hang on. Okay, the call screener?
Yeah, the call screener, yeah.
Okay, I'm just listening to you right now in the background here, okay? Okay, so the conversation I'm listening to right now, Robert, is you and the call screener talking together off the air.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm still playing it through. I just wanted to confirm with you that's what I'm listening to. Yeah, see, that accusation there, Robert, actually is not, that's not cool. It's not friendly. I mean, at the end of the day, Robert, just listen to me. Just stop interrupting me, please. At the end of the day, we're good people. I've worked at CHML for 24 years, okay? I care about this radio station, and I care about this city. For you to say to the producer or the call screener, which I think was Jacob, that, your accusation was, are you in bed with the police service? Robert, deep down in your heart, you know that that's not true. Why would we be in bed with the police service? Why would we?
Because if you let people call in and ask tough questions, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. If you let people,
only person that ever accuses us of this. Like, why would we be in bed with the police service? That's so not true.
Because if you let people call in and ask tough questions of the chief, the chief will stop showing up to be on the Bill Kelly show.
You're not seeing the big picture here, Robert. We don't put the chief in the studio for one person, okay? It's about an offering for everybody. We've been doing these town halls with police chiefs in this city for well over a decade, okay? So, we do the same thing with the mayor of Hamilton. We do the same thing with the mayor of Burlington, right? Like, there's no favoritism here for anybody. That's not what we do.
So why was I cut off in September? Why was I cut off in September?
Because the chief continues to tell us off the air that he's not going to deal with your issue on the air.
Let's just go.
We don't control what the chief wants
I'll
to do.
I'll send you that email, and you have the chief of police explain to you why he's not investigating that. Okay, if he says it's not criminal or something, you tell me how he explains that.
Yeah, okay, Robert, that's fine. Hey, you send me the email, okay? I will look at the email. I will place a call to Central Police Headquarters. I will ask for a conversation with Chief Gertz, and then I'll have some answers from him, and then I'll be able to fill you in some more. But the reality is, Robert, you shouldn't have a beef with CHML, okay? We're a radio station, okay, that's been doing news in this city for 90 years, okay? We are a high-profile station, which I understand is why you're calling, because you're trying to get your story out on the air.
It's not that you guys are high-profile, it's that the chief's on the air.
Say that again?
It's because the chief's on there and people are listening in.
No, I get that. I know that. That's the only reason you're calling in at that time. Yeah, I know that. You're not going to call in when the chief's not here. I get that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to utilize us to get to the police chief. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, because what else can I do?
Think about this, Robert. But think about this, Robert. You wouldn't even be calling us if we didn't have the chief in on his town hall.
That's true. That's
you do the same thing. Like, put it this way. If you had a beef with the mayor of Hamilton, if we had the mayor in studio to do a 1-hour town hall, which, again, we've been doing for 15 years on the radio station, then you'd be utilizing that hour to get to the mayor. I get that. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's what you guys are there for. You guys are the news media. It's your job to hold the government's feet to the fire in a democracy.
Yeah, and many other reasons.
Yes,
that's not our only job. That's not our only job.
I know, I'm not saying it's your only job. But that's part of your job in a democracy. The news media have a vital role to play. Because people have to be told what the government's doing so they can make an educated decision on who to vote for at the next election.
Sure. I get that. I get that, Robert, and I think we do that well. We just did a 4-hour special the other night covering the election on the 22nd. So, yes, that's exactly what we do. Again, we're the conduit for the community. I understand your points of view, but I'm telling you right now, off the air, the chief has blatantly said to us, that's issue that's been dealt with. I'm not going to continue to take his phone calls on the air. But again, I'll commit to this. I will call the police chief after you send me another email with the documentation, and I will ask the chief again for clarity on exactly why he will not take these calls air. I'll get that response. I will write that down, and then we can have a follow-up conversation.
Not necessarily why he's not taking these calls to air, why he's not launching a criminal investigation.
Well, I can ask him that too.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, in your email, when you send me the document, you send, if there's 2 or 3 questions that you have, just put those questions in the email. Then I can use that email that you send me as a template when I have this conversation with Chief Gert, and I will ask him point blank any of the questions that you've got in that email.
Okay.
All right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Again, at the end of the day, Robert, I mean, I'm in the business here of trying to, grow ratings on CHML, and that's the business side. I'm trying to educate community on the big issues that happen in Hamilton and Burlington and our surrounding areas, and we're trying to create compelling content in a democratic society that, can inform and entertain the citizens of this community. Again, at the end of the day, I don't want you to think that we're ever in bed with anybody, because at the end of the day, we're not. I've been here for 24 years, Robert. That's not the point. That's not what we want to do. I don't want you